Last time in the Boruto anime, Team 7 engaged in the final showdown against Tsukio with the Mujina gang and his Moonlight Shadow Jutsu, and eventually completing their prison breakout with Kokiri. However, it is revealed in the end that the man they worked so hard to save was killed by the man they need to defeat, the leader of the Mujina gang, Shujoji. So, with episode 148 of Boruto, I can so happily say that we're finally back to the manga content. We've not had any manga content in the Boruto anime since episode 66. That's got to be like nearly 2 years ago. We've had references since then, but no actual one-to-one adaptation. So, if you're hyped to finally have the manga arcs back in the anime, then leave a like on this video and subscribe as well if you're not already to become a member of the Senpai Squad. And be sure to answer today's question of the day in the comment section down below. Today's question is, how happy are you to have the manga content back? In one word, sum up your feelings. Anyway, the episode starts off with the Momoshiki flashback, and honestly, I don't think there could have been a better way to start the episode. I thought it was a great touch. It instantly gave you a feeling that we're back to business. I still see people saying that they're going to skip this episode and skip the next episode as well because it still looks like filler, and I understand that these guys will be anime onlys, but if you are, for whatever reason, thinking like that, just know this isn't filler. It's just the build-up for what is essentially the beginning of Boruto's story. Like I said, this was the build-up episode of it, and honestly, I thought it was a fantastic build-up episode. We also got Shujoji appearing in the opening this time. Honestly, it's a cool, nice touch. I don't really care. The opening still sucks. Anyway, on to the actual start of the episode, and we have Team 7 chasing down some robbers who, fun fact, were actually the Mujina gang in the anime, but because of the Hozuki Castle portion of this arc, there was no real reason to have the Mujina gang appear in that way in the anime because we've already become accustomed to them, we've already been introduced, whereas in the manga, this was that way of introducing them, and honestly, I will take what we got in the anime over the manga version of that any day of the week. However, because of that, my one main complaint I have about the episode is the fact that at that sacrifice we had to say goodbye to one of Saradas' coolest fights in the series. I remember rereading Boruto about last year, and I said on Twitter that the fight Sarada had against what obviously at that point are the Mujina gang in the manga was one of my favourite fights she has in the manga because the art and choreography used in that portion was actually really solid. It gave so much impact, it just felt so much more important than really actually is. But the fact that they cut it is really odd and disappointing. Part of me does understand why they did it, because like I said, they're no longer the Mujina gang, they're not rogue ninja, they're just robbers, so there's no need for Sarada to go all toe-to-toe with them like she did in the manga because she is going to be stronger than them. But I can't see why they couldn't have just made these robbers slightly competent ninja so that a fight was actually resourceful in this case and not just Sarada and Boruto Mitsuki easily brushing them aside. And it's such a shame because I recently got on board with that hashtag Sarada hype train as well. Regardless of all that though, the show must go on, literally. So let's talk a little bit about that. They're on a C rank mission, and I can already see the complaints flowing in from some people saying that, why are they on a C rank mission? After everything that's gone on, they're so much stronger than a C rank mission. They should be on A rank mission. They're like a Jonin high tuning level. And as true as that may be, that is of fault of the anime, not the actual plot of the story. You have to remember that all that stuff that happened in the anime, since then, all the anime original content, that doesn't necessarily translate into the manga. We never saw any of that. We may have had some inclination and hints to it later down the line, but as it stood at the time, that never happened. So to have them taking part in a C rank mission should make sense. But we met Lord Tento and the feudal lord and all of his little entourage, and if you couldn't tell already, they are going to be some important characters for the remainder of this arc. And as a character, I actually really like Tento. I think that Tento is perfect for showcasing the growth of Boruto's character. And to be honest, we did see highlights of that in this episode. Tento is a brat, he's spoiled, and he wants the attention of everyone around him. And I think his obsession with being shown how commoners live in this episode sort of says more about him, and I think symbolises his desire to be treated normally. Just that he goes the complete wrong way of doing so. Ring a bell? Exactly, he's quite clearly designed off the back of what Boruto's character originally was at the beginning of the story. Just with the dial turned up just a touch, but he is essentially what everyone thought Boruto was. Boruto uses a scientific ninja tool to reach his goal. Tento uses his credit card. Also, on the card collection, I just wanted to point out this really fantastic Easter egg, which I appreciated so much. I'm sure the manga readers will appreciate as well. And that was just seeing that little card of ow, you know, manga readers, you're catching my drift here, right? Another scene that was edited and in some parts fully cut as well was the conversation in Naruto's office. Ibiki and Katasuke were replaced with the standard police officer of Konoha in this scene in the anime. And this scene is important to the manga because it's a scene where it's revealed that Katasuke is under a genjutsu during the Chunin exams. Whereas in the anime, it doesn't serve that same purpose. There's also more references to future bad guys in that scene in the manga, and then we also see Mirai for the first time in the manga in that scene. Obviously Ibiki, Katasuke, Mirai, none of them were present in the anime. It's not the end of the world, I still liked the scene, and I'm sure that scene will be animated at a later date because they do like to do some of that at times throughout other anime original arcs, or maybe we'd even get it in this arc as well. But I'm not saying that scene is cut out entirely, but it's an interesting thing to cut out because, like I say, that could be an indication of something that we're going to get in a future arc later on down the line. One change from the manga, however, that I can fully get behind was the inclusion of Iwabe in the trading card scene with Tento. Firstly, it's great to include Iwabe because part of me and many other people were thinking, well, characters like Iwabe, Denki, all of those, how are they going to be included in the main plot when the time comes? Because obviously Iwabe never appeared in the manga up until this point yet. And the way that he was actually handled in this portion, in this scene, really worked. Because the scene he took part in was essentially the main drive of the plot for this episode. As we saw, Boruto passes his duplicate 7th Hokage Naruto card onto Iwabe. Tento sees this card and instantly wants it to finish his ninja card collection. He offers to pay Iwabe for the card, but this is why Iwabe's character was so perfect for this scene. For a start, he's older than Tento. He wants to stand his ground. He doesn't want to be shown up and bossed around by a child younger than him. He admires the Kage and he wants to be a ninja just like them, and so therefore he sticks up for himself. And just like I said, he admires the Kage, which is all the reason why he wants that card so much, because it's the Hokage. He's not going to sell it for any price at all. And a lot of the episode past this point really was Tento just buying everything that Iwabe wanted in hopes that he would just hand over that card out of annoyance towards Tento. And again, it just showcased Iwabe's solidity in his beliefs not to give in to Tento's quite annoying tactics. Again, showcasing Tento's brattiness, which, like I said, Boruto was originally so well known for. And then the man himself, Boruto, appears and engages in conversation with Tento, which, like I said earlier in the video, really encapsulate how far Boruto's character has come throughout the story. And then the episode ends with Boruto receiving his mission to become Tento's bodyguard. Now, I personally really enjoy this, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy it as well as the arc progresses, because I think personally that these two really bounce off of each other as characters to propel one another. That being said, however, Boruto's character, a lot of the development that is showcased that he's had in the manga of this arc with Tento has actually already been showcased to some degree in the anime original arcs, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they handle that, and to see whether or not that it will have the same effect on their relationship like it did in the manga. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap my review up there. So happy to be finally back to the manga content, like I said. Leave a like as well and enjoy. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe as well. I'll be seeing you guys in another video, but until then, as always, peace.